Yo, what up? This is Mike Brown,
This is Alpha.
and this is The Art of Letting Go.
Letting go. Letting go. Sounded all right.
Yeah, man.
It did. It did. What's going on? What's good? What's good, man? What's happening?
Not too much, man. This is a very exciting episode for me just because the last couple of days, the last couple of weeks I've been feeling a lot of transition, but the last couple of days have shown me my growth as a man.
Got you.
As well as the people around me as men, because I was thinking on my way here, actually, I was thinking about my past and my ways of resolving conflict, and my present way of doing it, which is through communication, has been way more effective than anything I've ever learned. You know, you're taught, I know for myself, was taught this masculine way of dealing with things, as far as like to fight or to be defensive or any of that shit. And to be able to communicate, man, that shit feels amazing.
Yeah.
It really does. You go ahead.
No. Go ahead. I'm listening to you. I have a thought, but I'm listening to you.
No, I was just talking. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, especially between men.
Absolutely.
When men can really come together and really just resolve an issue just by talking about it, and it doesn't even come close to like nothing else.
Right.
It's really dope. Like it's really cool to see it now.
When I really look at my life in general, I haven't had very many conflict with men.
Okay.
So yeah, because I just haven't had very many confrontations.
Gotcha.
I guess I avoid conflict to an extent, but yeah, it's very interesting. It's wild, man. Like, it really is.
Yeah.
When I think about that shit, because it's like I was never taught how to do this. So how do I do it? You know, and I feel like through growth, learning how to handle things, I guess put me where I am today.
Yeah.
And that feels good, man. Like, you know, kind of going to what I was telling you about the beach, feeling my growth and trying not to be afraid of it. Because growth definitely makes you feel older. And when you feel older, you start thinking of just all the issues that come with that.
Yeah, you start to see all the responsibilities that come with, absolutely.
Like health, death, you know, where you are as far as status in life, like those things. And I guess because I'm turning 32 soon, those things kind of come up in my mind, and I realize like they are just distractions. You know what I mean? But when I think about how far I've come, that makes me realize like, wow, man, you are grown. Like, you are really grown, and that's kind of scary sometimes.
Yeah, dog. It can definitely be scary. Once you start to start to look at things a little bit differently. Like, as you get older and you mature a little bit more, and you approach, like you said, you approach situations differently than you used to. Life is just on a whole other, like, one, it's like I don't even feel like doing that. Like, I just don't feel like doing what I used to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And part of you feels like, but should I still feel like you know what I'm saying?
Sometimes old shit feels forced.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I think life takes you so far and removes you from so much that sometimes you recognize like, that's not even who I am today.
Yeah, dog.
But part of me wants to still feel connected to that.
Exactly. Because it makes you, especially me, I have two brothers who are 10 years younger than me. And so I'll get around them and they start calling me old, and I'm looking at them like, wait till y'all get this age. Like, I don't feel old at all.
Right.
But a part of me does still want to be like the cool, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm the cool brother.
Absolutely.
So I start to do, and I'm like, nah, I'm straight. Like, no, I don't need to do none of that. I'm good.
And it's confusing, like, why somebody would be insecure about getting older,
Right.
when everybody does it.
Right.
Like, that doesn't even make sense. You know what I mean?
I guess it makes sense to me because athletically, like in certain aspects of my life, there are things that I would like to just be able to do still,
Right.
that I can't just still do. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that aspect of it is like, man, I'm getting older and I can't, like, my mind says I can move like this, but my body's like, nah, you can't do that. Like, that's.
But see, at the same time, it's like maybe not at the level that you would like to do it.
Yeah.
But it's stuff like and I guess this is something I know about because I look forward to it, but like there's a 35 and up basketball.
Oh, yeah,
league.
yeah, absolutely.
And it's like, I still want to play with the young motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Because I just want to prove to myself like I still got it.
And that's what I'm talking
but
about.
my body and where I'm at is like, this is where you are.
Yeah, man. And it's a hard thing for me though, because my mind is still like, nah, bro, like you still got it. And so the disparity between the two is just like, I want to believe my mind. I really want to trust it. But you lying, dog. Like, why are you telling me these lies? Because I can't do that right now. And my body's like, just come with me to the 35 and older. To the 35 and older league. Just come on down. But I don't. It's a hard balance for me. I'll be honest with you. Like, it's difficult for me to do it. And I know we kind of got off of the whole conflict thing, but it's the truth, man. Like, getting older is definitely hard in certain aspects, but it's so much better as far as knowing how to handle certain situations.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not quick to jump to anger. I'm not quick to lash out. Like, I think about things before I say them. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that might kind of hurt if I say that. So let me not say that, or say it a different kind of way. Like, as when I was younger, it's like, raw. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I can definitely appreciate that part of my age, and just acknowledging when things are, being able to acknowledge when things are good, even when they don't look like they are.
Absolutely, man. Can you elaborate on that, please?
So it's a lot of different situations, but like going through anything in life, right? We all go through stuff.
Yeah.
And so even before, I've talked about being depressed on here, and there are times where I still kind of get that feeling. I still kind of get that bug, like, oh man, like this is done. But then I'm able now in my age or wisdom, I can look up and be like, no, I got this going on, and I got this going on. Like, this is going my way. It's just taking longer than I wanted to.
Yeah.
But it's moving. You know what I'm saying? And whereas before I would just get depressed, like I'm not moving at all. But it's like incrementally, I'm making some steps, but I can see the steps now. Whereas before, when I was younger, it's like, it's just not happening, man. I'm gonna give up.
It feels almost like everything moves in waves. Like you experience everything at every level of your life that you're at.
Right.
And even saying whatever level you're at, but you know, I've been thinking recently, like there is no like specific next level if you're continuously growing. Like the level is continuous.
That's facts.
You know, and it took me a long time to realize that, because I was always looking for my next. And then when I took a minute to step back and look at it, it was like, I'm here.
Yeah.
So now that I'm here, I have to keep working, because you're going to continuously keep hitting where you're supposed to be.
Right.
You know, so it's I don't know, man, like all of these concepts that are given to us are very interesting and a little funny to me.
You know, and I was just talking to my boy the other day about it, and I feel like when I was younger, for a long time, I made life a lot harder than it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like, there were things that I could have done, hindsight looking back on, like, why did I just do that? Like, why did I make things so difficult? And it's not that I didn't even really want to do it, but my drive to be like, I can do this instead, will take over a little bit more. So I definitely appreciate being able to see that, like, that growth on that level. I'm happy, man, and it's not always easy being happy. It's not always easy being happy, but I really am, and I really have to like consciously make sure that I stay that, because it starts up here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then, like, as long as I'm making sure that I'm happy and I'm looking for my happiness instead of allowing whatever is coming in to come in, like, let me find my happiness and it's right there. Like, it keeps me balanced.
Right.
And I need that balance.
Hey, man, it's not easy being happy, but somebody has to do it.
Right.
So why not take on a job?
Right, right, gladly. Straight up, man. It's cool, man. And if we want to, we can edit this part out. I don't think we will though. So recently, you and I had a little disagreement, discrepancy, whatever.
Yes.
Between the two of us, and I think that I just want to highlight that I feel like we both. We talked about it. We both kind of had a negative thought about how the conversation was going to go and what it would lead to. And the fact that we were able to just sit there and like, I felt the tension go from here to here like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't take long at all. And I just want to say that I appreciate you for that.
I appreciate you too. I think one of my biggest lessons that I learned in that was, one, to not hold things in.
Mm-hmm.
But two, don't build things up to be anything but what they are. Like, if we having a conversation, just have the conversation. Don't build up what the conversation is going to be, what the experience is going to be like. Like, I think what made it so easy, like someone asked me, what was it like having the conversation?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, not to be too graphic, but it felt like the build up before a nut. And it was like once it came out, it was like I was relieved, and relaxed, and able to just flow through this conversation as opposed through. And it's fun. I'm laughing because I'm talking about this shit, and we're filming,
right.
But it's like, it was a build up. I'm building up, and then it was like, whew,
yeah.
That's all I had to say,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So I definitely appreciate how we were able to communicate as well as respect each other.
Yeah.
And I think those are very important qualities in resolving conflict. Like I said, I was taught to resolve conflict, which mainly came through defense.
Right.
You know.
Same here.
So I don't really know too many men that have had conflict and actually had a conversation about it,
right,
and grew from it. It's
right.
I ain't fucking with that nigga.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to him.
Or you had a conversation like years later, and it's like we could have been boys this whole time.
Exactly.
If we would have just got this out the way back then, because it's really just 9 times out of 10, it's really just a misunderstanding.
Right.
And when you can really just talk about like, oh, I saw it like this, and oh, I saw it like that, it's like, oh, okay, well, no, it wasn't really like that. It was, and I think that's always beneficial, and because like I said, we talked about how my mind immediately goes to the negative. Like, all right, so it's here, so what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
But then I stay focused on what's the worst that can happen.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I'm able to be like, nah, it's really not gonna be like that. You know what I'm saying? And I've learned that over time because I've run into that a lot in my life where I've been doing that since high school. Like I'll build up this whole conversation and it's like, it doesn't have to be that negative, man. Like, just have the conversation and see what happens.
And I think for me, I've always been somebody that's acted off emotion.
Okay.
So
I believe that.
Being very emotional and shit, like, I think I let things just build,
mm-hmm.
and then I'm usually that person that's like, oh, I'm not fucking with them no more, or I'm not doing this no more, or whatever, to avoid actually having to deal with what we have to deal with.
Right.
Like, we have to have this conversation, but rather than having this conversation, I'm like, fuck that.
Right.
I'm moving on. I'm doing this. I'm doing that.
Yeah.
So it felt cool it felt very mature and very grown to even approach and be like, hey man, I have to have a conversation with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think something else I've learned just through my experience of life is being compassionate and considerate. Like, there could be something going on and it's like, but you don't know what this other person got going on in their life.
Right.
You know what I mean? So a lot of times I think when we are in the moment, we don't take those type of things into consideration.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, like I said, I definitely learned a lot from that experience, and I appreciate going through that with you.
Yeah.
Because who's to say if it was somebody else, it wouldn't have been the same past result.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because of where that person is in their life.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. And to speak on that too, I really feel like we're at a point, and we talked about this a little bit the other day, where we're starting to really choose like our immediate circle very, very, very
Definitely.
wisely. And it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And I feel like the group of men that we hang around can definitely conflict resolve in the same way. You know
Definitely.
what I'm saying? And so like
Definitely.
even being able to call them like, yo, I kind of need advice on how to handle a situation. There are people that will give you good advice. You feel me? And it's cool to have a group of brothers that I can really just be like, yo, bro, like I might be tripping, so let me know.
Yeah, and it feels, to me, that feels very authentic. You know, a lot of times people, I guess I look at my past experiences with people.
Mm-hmm.
When you tell somebody something and you giving them something real and they get offended by the real.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know how to approach this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I definitely agree with you, and I appreciate being able to have an open circle of friends where it's like we all friends, and I'm able to talk to somebody without them pushing me to do more or choosing a side or any of that shit. Like, I really feel like all of us as men handled that very well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I appreciate all of y'all for helping me with that, helping us with that.
Absolutely,
as well.
absolutely. Yeah, man, it was a good experience, and I feel like overall, it's just gonna keep going up. Like I feel like the bond we have is gonna get better and better and better over the course.
How the fuck we having a conversation about conflict being cool? Like, this was cool. This was like tight learning, you know. But it's real at the same time.
It's real life. It's real life, man. It's really dope. Like, I'm glad to be able to even talk like this, because it's like, where do you get a chance to really talk like this?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we might, where other people can actually chime in and get in on a conversation. Like, I think this is really dope that we're able to move past it. And, you know, I know you feel the same way as me, but I really need the art of letting go.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to be able to express myself, to talk about stuff like this. And then sometimes it's just listen and not really say too much. Like, I need to be in environments like that to constantly do it. So I'm very happy that we're continuing to do this, and we're handling all of the hurdles and everything that comes along the way in stride. Like, it feels really good to be there.
Yeah, man. Like, it's an experience like anything else. I think the thing I appreciate about us even talking about it, it's almost like social media. Like, you know, people only show you the good shit.
Right.
They don't show you the real shit. And if it's one person in this world that say they ain't never had, you know, a conflict or just any type of issue with somebody, that's a fucking lie. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to put it out there like, yeah, this is it, but we got through it, and we pushing and really strengthen, right? Because it's like, okay, now I know I can be as open with you as I need to be.
Absolutely.
And you can be as open with me,
absolutely,
as you need to be. So I guess I hope that's a lesson that the listeners get from us.
Absolutely.
You know, that it doesn't have to be an end all be all, because you're able to work through shit,
right.
Especially if you care about somebody, you're able to work through it. You know, so I hope people got something out of this. I really do.
Absolutely. And if there is anything you did get out of it, if there's anything that you want to kind of chime in and to put into the conversation, in the mix about it, hit us up. You know, we definitely want more interaction with people.
Absolutely.
And, you know what I'm saying, to talk to people a little bit more, to share more of our thoughts, or they can share some of their thoughts. And I just like conversation, you know, no matter how it's happening. So definitely hit us up and let us know if there's more in this, or some conflict or something like that you was able to handle or not handle. And let's talk about it, man. Let's figure it out together.
Hey, man, that sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So where can we find you at, brother?
You could find me at Just Mike Brown on all social media, PrimoMiguel.com, you know, the usual places. Where can we find you?
You can find me.
My lovely co-host, by the way.
Right. Hey. You can find me on Alpha Presents Alpha _ALFPHA on Instagram and Twitter. Facebook, just Wayne Michael. I'm still going back and forth with the whole name thing. For anybody who heard that before,
I feel like you should do a poll and let the people vote.
Maybe I should. I think I will do that. And I'm gonna let y'all know right now, though, just because one of them wins doesn't mean that's what I'm gonna do. but I respect your opinions, though. But
That's funny.
and then you can find us on the Art of Letting Go on SoundCloud podcast, Art of Letting Go podcast on SoundCloud and Apple Music.
Yeah, man. Any feedback, any concerns, anything that you guys would like to hit us with, hit us on the Art of Letting Go podcast at gmail.com.
Absolutely.
And this is wait.
Were you a little thirsty? Were you a little thirsty? Did you want to have a drink? Did you want to have
I surely did. Some of this looking for sponsors water. You know, I have a sip of this looking for sponsors water.
Yeah. Go ahead and holler us about that too. The water looks very tasty. It does.
Title. You get your label on this water.
So yeah, man. We appreciate y'all listening. We appreciate y'all support and all the love that we getting and we hearing back. And yeah, man.
This is Mike Brown.
This is Alpha.
And this is the Art of Letting Go.
Letting go. Letting go.
Peace.
Peace.